The paper trail nobody was supposed to notice. The loudest move in hip-hop may have happened without a song, ajis, or even a single Instagram post, while the internet kept replaying old battle lines between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And a quieter story was allegedly taking shape inside corporate records, trademark category, and legal filings. Most fans would never think to read, and if the clues mean what some observers believe they mean, pgLang may not be preparing for another album rollout. It may be preparing to challenge the structure that controls how music is released, marketed, distributed, and owned. That is what makes this story so dangerous for the old system. A rap battle can dominate the timeline for weeks. A business blueprint can dominate an industry for decades. Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free have never operated like executives who need constant attention. Kendrick creates the cultural earthquake. Dave Free appears to study where every piece lands. One controls the moment. The other builds the machine that can keep profiting after the moment disappears. Together, they have turned silence into part of the strategy. The central mystery is what some people are calling pgLang's sixth floor, a possible expansion beyond music management, creative production, touring, film, and catalog ownership. No official announcement has confirmed a secret division, and several claims surrounding these alleged filings remain speculative. But the theory is gaining attention because the pieces appear to point in the same direction. Independent distribution, media ownership, audience data, film, merchandise, and perhaps a direct platform connecting artists with fans. That would change the Kendrick versus Drake conversation completely. This would no longer be about who won a lyrical exchange. It would be about who built the stronger future after the music stopped. Before we go deeper, tell us where you are watching from. If you believe Kendrick and Dave Free are building something much bigger than a record label, come on. If you think the internet is connecting dots that do not belong together, come on, dude. Subscribe now. Because the next chapter reveals why pgLang's silence may be more important than any public announcement. Kendrick creates the gravity. To understand why the theory feels believable, you have to understand the division of power between Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free. pgLang was never introduced as a conventional record company. Its identity has always felt deliberately difficult to define. It produces music, visual campaigns, films, performances, and cultural moments. Yet it rarely behaves like an organization desperate to explain itself. Kendrick is the visible force. His music creates attention that companies spend millions trying to manufacture. When he releases a record, performs on a massive stage, or appears in a carefully designed visual, the reaction does not remain inside hip-hop. It spreads into sports, fashion, television, politics, advertising, and online culture. But attention alone does not build an empire. That is where Dave Free becomes essential. His public image is quiet, but the projects connected to him often show intense coordination. Videos appear cinematic instead of promotional. Performances feel structured like arguments. Product releases feel timed to create maximum curiosity without exhausting the audience. The pattern suggests a team that values control over constant visibility. Think of it this way. Kendrick creates the gravity, but Dave appears to build the satellites. That distinction matters because many artist-led companies collapse. When the artist stops releasing music, they are built around fame instead of infrastructure. pgLang seems to be attempting the opposite. Kendrick may be the flagship, but the company's long-term value depends on whether it can turn his cultural influence into systems that work for other artists, filmmakers, brands, and creators. That is why the possibility of a new division feels so significant. If pgLang has already learned how to create attention, produce content, collect audience demand, and control its own visual language, the logical next step would be controlling more of the delivery system. And if that is the plan, Kendrick is not simply building a company around his career. He may be using his career as the first demonstration of what the company can do. The 5 floors we can already see. Before discussing a hidden 6th floor, we need to examine the 5 visible layers that make the theory possible. The first layer is music. pgLang has functioned as a creative home connected to artists, releases, videos, and unconventional rollouts. Its projects often avoid the exhausting promotional cycle used by traditional labels. Instead of spending months explaining what is coming, the company creates uncertainty and lets the audience chase the answer. The second layer is management. A management operation does more than arrange interviews and negotiate appearances. It shapes careers, partnerships, touring schedules, brand relationships, and long-term positioning. If pgLang is quietly expanding this side of the business, it could influence multiple careers without publicly announcing every connection. The third layer is the creative agency. This may be the most underestimated part of the company. pgLang has shown that it can build campaigns extending beyond music. It can work with brands, sports organizations, visual artists, filmmakers, and large entertainment companies. That means it is not only selling songs, it is selling ideas and execution. The fourth layer is live performance. Touring creates revenue, but it also generates something even more valuable: direct audience intelligence. Every ticket purchase reveals where demand exists. Every merchandise sale reveals what fans value. Every city teaches the company where its strongest communities are located. The fifth layer is intellectual property. Unreleased recordings, visual concepts, trademarks, film ideas, and brand assets can become a private vault of future value. The company does not need to release everything immediately. Scarcity itself becomes power. Separately, these 5 layers are impressive. Together, they form a nearly complete ecosystem. Only one major piece appears to be missing: the pipe that delivers all of it directly to the public. That is why the 6th floor theory refuses to disappear. The first 5 floors may not be separate businesses at all. They may be preparation for one larger structure. Why the 6th floor changes everything. The alleged 6th floor is often described as a streaming or direct distribution play, but that description may be too simple. Launching another music app would not automatically threaten Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or the major labels. The market is already crowded, and fans rarely want another monthly subscription. The real opportunity would be building something smaller, more focused, and more controllable. Imagine a pgLang platform that does not try to host every artist in the world. Instead, it could deliver exclusive music, films, documentaries, performances, merchandise, behind-the-scenes content, and live event access from a carefully selected group of creators. That model would not need to replace traditional streaming immediately. It would only need to create a direct relationship with the most committed fans. That direct relationship is the real prize. On existing platforms, artists receive information after the platform collects it. The platform controls discovery, payment structures, recommendation systems, and access to the customer. But when an artist-led company owns the connection, it can understand who buys tickets, who watches long-form content, who purchases merchandise, and who returns for every release. This is where touring data becomes more important than tour revenue. A large tour can function like a moving research operation. It tells a company which markets respond fastest, which cities support premium products, and which audiences are willing to follow the artist beyond a basic streaming subscription. No public evidence currently proves that pgLang is launching a full streaming service. The filings and business theories discussed online should not be treated as confirmed fact, but the strategic logic is easy to understand. If a company already controls creativity, production, branding, live experiences, and valuable intellectual property, direct distribution becomes the final lock on the door. And once that lock closes, the traditional gatekeepers are no longer deciding whether the company can enter the building. Dave Free, the architect in the shadows. Hip-hop history usually celebrates the person holding the microphone. The quieter person building the structure often receives attention years later. After the deals become visible, Dave Free appears determined to keep it that way. His value is not simply that he understands Kendrick Lamar. His value is that he appears to understand how culture becomes an institution. A powerful music video can promote a song, A carefully designed music video can also establish symbols, visual language, fashion, location, character, and mythology. A halftime performance can entertain millions of viewers. A strategically designed performance can also reshape the public meaning of an artist in a single night. That is the difference between promotion and architecture. Dave Free's projects frequently feel as though every detail has a second function. A camera angle is not only beautiful, it supports a message. A guest appearance is not only exciting, it signals an alliance. A release date is not only convenient, it changes the surrounding conversation. Even silence becomes a tool because it forces audiences to study the work rather than depend on interviews explaining it. This approach creates an enormous advantage in the modern attention economy. Most entertainers reveal their plans too early. They announce projects before the projects are ready, then spend months attempting to preserve excitement. pgLang often appears to build first and reveal only when the audience can immediately experience the result. If a new business division truly exists, that philosophy explains why it might remain hidden, announcing a platform before the technology. Content, partnerships, and audience strategy are complete, but give competitors time to respond. Building quietly allows pgLang to reveal the product and the proof at the same time. That is why Dave Free may be more than Kendrick's creative partner. He may be the person designing a company meant to survive beyond Kendrick's next album, next tour, and next cultural victory. The other side of the board. Every powerful narrative needs contrast, and the internet has naturally placed OVO on the opposite side of this theory. But this is where responsible analysis matters. Many viral claims about Drake's ownership structure, unreleased catalog, private equity involvement, and label finances remain disputed, incomplete, or unsupported by transparent documentation. Still, the contrast between the two public strategies is difficult to ignore. Drake built one of the most commercially dominant careers in modern music. His streaming numbers, global recognition, hit records, and influence are undeniable. But his business identity has often remained connected to larger corporate systems. Those systems provide scale, promotion, distribution, and financial power. They can also create dependency. Kendrick's apparent strategy looks different. Instead of maximizing constant output, pgLang seems focused on controlling the environment around fewer, larger moments. It sacrifices frequency for impact and visibility for ownership. Neither strategy is automatically superior. Drake's model produced extraordinary commercial success. The question is, what happens when the artist wants to change the relationship with the companies that help create that scale? This is why ownership has become the true battlefield. A catalog can generate money for decades, but only if the artist controls the rights or maintains favorable participation. A brand can grow beyond music, but only if the founder keeps meaningful authority. Unreleased recordings can look like leverage, but contracts determine who can legally release, license, or profit from them. The internet prefers a simple conclusion: Kendrick is building while Drake is losing control. Reality may be more complicated, but the deeper lesson remains. Commercial dominance and structural independence are not the same thing. One can make an artist famous, the other determines what remains when the fame enters a new phase, the war for the pipe. For decades, the music business trained artists to focus on the product. While corporations controlled the pipe, artists created the songs, labels financed and marketed them, distributors delivered them, platforms organized them, promoters sold the tickets, brands licensed the image. At every stage, someone stood between the creator and the audience. The internet was supposed to destroy that system. Instead, it often replaced old gatekeepers with new ones. Today, an artist can upload music instantly, but discovery still depends heavily on platforms. An artist can speak directly to fans, but the social network owns the audience data. An artist can sell merchandise, but payment processors, fulfillment companies, advertising systems, and recommendation engines still control major parts of the transaction. The true revolution is not simply releasing music independently, it is owning enough of the pipe that no single outside company can shut off the flow. That may be what pgLang is ultimately attempting. Its music creates demand. Its visual operation creates identity. Its touring business turns attention into real-world participation. Its partnerships extend the brand into film and advertising. Its intellectual property gives the company a library of assets. A direct platform would connect those pieces into one continuous system. The potential is enormous. But so is the risk. Technology is expensive. Customer acquisition is difficult. Subscription fatigue is real. Even powerful artists have struggled to convince fans to remain inside closed platforms. A pgLang service would need to offer something more valuable than exclusivity alone. It would need to feel like membership in a cultural world. That is where Kendrick's artistic approach becomes a business advantage. His audience does not only consume song, it studies meaning, symbolism, visuals, performances, and context. That level of engagement could support a deeper platform relationship. The war is no longer about who owns the hottest song. It is about who owns the road between the song and the listener. Silence as a business weapon. Most companies treat silence as a problem. They fear that if the audience stops hearing from them, the audience will move on. pgLang has repeatedly demonstrated the opposite theory. Silence can increase value when the public believes something important is being built behind it. This only works when the company has earned trust. Kendrick can disappear because his audience expects the return to matter. Dave Free can avoid interviews because the finished work usually provides more information than a promotional conversation would. The company can resist explaining itself because mystery has become part of its identity. That creates a unique form of leverage. Competitors must respond to possibilities rather than announcements. Journalists search for clues. Fans analyze trademarks. Casting decisions. Visual symbols. Business partnerships. And release patterns. Every gap becomes a conversation. But mystery also creates danger. When official information is limited, speculation can harden into fake certainty. A theory repeated enough times can begin to sound like a confirmed report. That is why this story must be approached carefully. Filing categories may reveal what a company wants the legal option to do, but they do not prove that every option will become a real product. A trademark can protect a future possibility without confirming a launch. So, the silence remains strategically useful. If pgLang is not building a platform, the speculation still strengthens its image as an unpredictable, forward-thinking company. If it is building one, the silence protects the project until the infrastructure is ready. Either outcome benefits the brand. That may be the most brilliant feature of the strategy. The company does not need to publicly confirm the blueprint for the blueprint to influence the industry. While everyone else fights to dominate the news cycle, pgLang appears willing to let curiosity perform the marketing. And curiosity is often more powerful than promotion because the audience feels responsible for discovering the story, the empire behind the artist. The biggest misunderstanding surrounding pgLang may be the belief that it exists primarily to expand Kendrick Lamar's career. The more ambitious possibility is that Kendrick's career exists as the first successful case study for pgLang. That would transform the company's value. A business built around one superstar remains vulnerable to that superstar's release schedule. Personal decisions, health, popularity, and desire to remain visible. An institution takes the methods that worked for the founder and applies them to the next generation. pgLang already possesses the ingredients of such a model: creative direction, visual production, brand strategy, music development, live event knowledge, industry, relationships, and an audience trained to pay attention. If those systems can be transferred to other artists, directors, writers, designers, or filmmakers, Kendrick becomes the foundation rather than the ceiling. This is also where the rivalry narrative becomes less important. Drake and Kendrick will always be compared because their conflict created one of the largest cultural moments of their era. But institutions are not built by endlessly repeating a battle. They are built by turning the attention from that battle into lasting assets. The smartest move for pgLang would not be destroying OVO. It would be making the comparison irrelevant. If pgLang becomes a home where creators receive stronger ownership, better storytelling, selective exposure, and access to a complete media ecosystem, it could attract talent without publicly attacking anyone. Artists would not move because of a rap feud. They would move because the structure offered them a better future. That is the real endgame behind the sixth floor theory. Not revenge, replacement, not another diss record. A different business model. Not winning one summer, building something that can influence the next 20 years, whether every rumor proves accurate or not. Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free have already forced the culture to ask a more important question. What happens when an artist stops negotiating for a better room inside the industry and starts constructing an entirely new building? Ownership is the final verse. The most important lesson in this entire story is not that Kendrick Lamar defeated Drake, or that pgLang is guaranteed to become the next billion-dollar media empire. The real lesson is that talent creates attention, but ownership determines what happens after the attention fades. Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free appear to understand that culture is strongest when creativity and infrastructure move together. A powerful song can change a summer. A powerful system can change who controls the next generation of songs. That is why the rumored sixth floor matters. Even if some of the details never become reality, it represents a larger shift in hip-hop. Artists are no longer asking only for better contracts. They are beginning to ask whether they can build the companies that write those contracts. Strategically, pgLang's greatest advantage is not secrecy alone. It is patience. The company seems willing to sacrifice constant visibility in exchange for stronger execution. It creates demand before expanding supply. It studies the audience before building the next product. It treats music, touring, film, branding, and technology as connected parts of one ecosystem, but there is also a warning here. Competition should never become personal destruction. Drake's legacy does not need to collapse for Kendrick's vision to succeed. Hip-hop is large enough for multiple artists, companies, and creative philosophies. The healthiest future is not one where rivals lose everything. It is one where more creators understand their contracts, protect their work, and build sustainable businesses without exploiting the people around them. The human lesson is simple. Never allow pride, pressure, or short-term money to separate you from the rights that protect your future. Study the paperwork, choose partners carefully, build quietly when necessary, but treat people fairly. A powerful empire without integrity eventually becomes another version of the system it claimed to replace. Now tell us where you stand. Comment 1 if you believe artist-owned platforms are the future of hip-hop. Comment 2 if you think major labels and streaming companies will remain too powerful to challenge. Share this video with someone who cares about music ownership. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep breakdowns of the strategy, business, and hidden power moves shaping rap culture.